That shit is pretty far away. But I'm gonna try to draw this shit out for y'all somehow, some way. I'm gonna try to see how can I position this fucking shit so y'all can see what I'm finna do, y'all. Alright, so I'm finna draw the map of the world. We living in a four-cornered earth. Our earth is four-cornered. How can I prove this to you, right? How? I don't have a rocket ship. I've never been higher than a commercial flight. I can't even see up or down in a commercial flight like that. You know what I mean? I can't look upwards like that. You know, you've seen out of a window of a commercial flight. I got no technology. How else can I find out if the world is flat or not? What could I do to find out the truth, right? I'm gonna tell you, world history. There's a start and there's a finish to everything, right? So let's look at every single current event that has ever happened, right? So over here, we're gonna go with, California, then it goes into like Mexico, right? Right, and you got the United States, you got the Gulf of Mexico, right? And up here is like Canada and shit like that. Up there's like Canada, and then over here you got Brazil. Then right here you got Brazil, and you got Africa right here. And that's the Gulf, and you got Italy and all that shit right here. You got Italy and shit right here. Then you got Africa. What does Africa look like again? And you got Africa right here. Big triangle. You got Africa, the motherland, and then you got Japan. And you got Japan over here. And you got like China over here and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm gonna explain something to y'all. Let me get in the light with this shit. I'm getting the light with this shit because I'm finna blow y'all minds, y'all. It's gonna fuck y'all up. Alright. Let me put that down. I'm going to the house to explain this shit better. Alright. Let me be able to explain this a lot better now. So, I'm gonna draw this out. Over here, we got Japan, we got Russia, we got Japan, we got China, and this is Russia. Come over here, and then you come down, here, California, and that comes around, comes down to Florida, then the Gulf of Mexico, and that seals off that, and then down here, it's gonna be like Mexico coming down, and you got Brazil right here, and then down here you got Africa, and you got Africa that's connected to Japan and China. So all this is water. All the squiggles is water. All that's water. That's water. This is 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 water. Water. All this is water. All the this water. This is land. This is land. Then you got Alaska. And got Alaska right there too. And got A for Alaska. And then up here is Canada. We got Canada. And this is supposed to be Greenland right here. This is Greenland. This is Greenland right there. This is Africa. North Africa. This is America, USA. The USA. This is Russia. That's Greenland. Canada. All that's connected. So all that's connected right here. So, yeah. All this is connected. All is connected. All that's connected, right? So check this out. All this is water. All this is water. This is China. This is Japan. And that's China, Japan, Russia, Greenland, Canada. Canada, Greenland, and Russia. All that's connected. All that's connected. And this is supposed to be a little bit of Canada too. So, and then there's like little pockets of water. There's like little pockets of water around in this area. Like the beach. And little pockets of water in this area like the beach or whatever. So okay. Florida. This is like Florida right here. You know what I'm saying? That's like Florida. This is Brazil right here. This is Brazil. You know what I'm saying? These are the little tropical islands right here. These are the tropical islands, the Bermudas, Jamaicas, you know what I'm saying? The Haitians and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So let's go and this is Asia over here. This is Asia over here. And this is Europe. UK, you know what I mean? That's UK over there. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Europeans leaving from here with slavery, going to Africa, getting the Africans, and then they headed west. Came up, they headed west and came up into the Gulf of Mexico, came up into Florida, right? Slavery, the slavery route. Came down through Africa, they came out this way and hit America, right? All right. Pearl Harbor. They say the flights came from Japan, came down Africa, came around Brazil, and hit Pearl Harbor. Some even say that they seen planes flying through the States. They seen Japanese fighter planes flying over the States. Okay. So, what else, right? There's never been any world history of man coming from outboundaries from California California There's never been no war over here. There's never been nobody traveling from west to east. The slaves been brought this way. Even in New York. Civilization started from east to west. When the slaves went free, they went up north, and then the Wild Wild West. That's why this was the Wild Wild West. Because it wasn't civilized. And you was on the west now. It's the Wild Wild West. It wasn't civilized, it was cowboys. You was living by your gun. What about that cartoon with that little mouse? Fightful. Fightful goes where? Fightful goes west. There's nothing that ever happened this way. Where did the hurricane ships crash? To where they say hurricanes go and spin onto the land because of all the women, all the slaves that died. That's coming from east to west. The winds are blowing. At the end of the day, they say you can leave Alaska and hit Japan. But if you watch any flights, you leave from California and you head over, stop in New York, stop in Florida, and then you head over. You, wherever you at, you come down. Okay, let me break something else down for you. There is no flight. I'm gonna finish this. There is no flight that goes around, that starts from here and goes this way and ends up. They always have to go. Even packages, you can track your package. Track your package from Japan and see, does it not cross through Brazil, Africa, or Florida, UK, or Jamaica, or anything before it reaches you in the US? See, did it overskip all of this, didn't stop nowhere, came around the globe? There is no travel like that. It doesn't exist. There is no travel like that. And let me give you another example. Who is America filled with? California, Las Vegas. Half of California used to belong to Mexico, right? Half of California used to belong to Mexico, right? Who else being the USA? The Canadians. A lot of people from Canada. Drake, real popular. Toronto. Toronto on the map. We get vacation time. We go where? We go to Jamaica. We go to what's close to us. When you want to go, the movie Rush Hour. Why did Rush Hour have to put in the movie that it took so long of a flight to get all the way to China from America? Why didn't they show us that they were leaving from Alaska and going around the opposite way? Because it don't exist. You got Alaskans mixed in. I got somebody right now that left Las Vegas and went to Alaska. He's in Alaska right now. Who is in from China? Who's from China, Russia, Japan, Asia? That's populating Alaska. The way Mexicans or Samoans are. This is where Samoans are. From Hawaii. And then Hawaii's out here somewhere. Where's Hawaii could be? And Hawaii's like out here somewhere. Alaskans is filled with Japan. They will be filled with a lot of Chinese also, and a lot of Japans also. But they're filled with Samoans. Blacks from America, from Chicago, from people from Canada. Look who's there in the region. Look who's there in the area. We come over here to Africa. Who is Africa friends with? Who is they chilling with? Who's they cool? They cool with Putin. They cool with the Africans, the Chinese. They running things all the way in Jamaica. They setting up shop in Jamaica. Why the Chinese and Japanese and Russia ain't making moves with Alaska? Because America owns it. They selling stuff from China to America, right? Why wouldn't they? Because they not that close. your neighbors who you deal with, your neighbors who you gonna conversate with. That's why UK and Asians, you know, if they was to have babies together, they would have the weakest organs as a human on Earth. Their organs would be the weakest because they're so similar and the same. Y'all didn't even know that. You know, who else hangs out with each other around in this area? In New York, you get a lot of people from Japan, Russia, Africa. Hella people from Africa, New York. It's there. You understand what I'm saying? When they got the slaves and came down Africa, they came and passed Florida, past Brazil, and they went up to the south in the Gulf Coast where they have the tornadoes that go into the land. They came from east to west. Civilization always came from east and always went to west. There is nothing out on the skirts of Alaska and California. There's where the sun. I believe the home of the sun is down in this area. I believe the home of the sun, it rotates. I believe it rotates down here. Like the sun has a corner bottom rotation. It's like down here rotating. And you want to know why I say it's down here rotating? Because there's certain parts in Alaska where the sun never sets. So it's high enough and it's rotating in this area to where the sun never sets in Alaska. I'm right here in Las Vegas, right here in AZ, my neighbor. There's no time zone. You don't have to change the time on your clocks in AZ. Everybody else in the world has to change their time on their clocks, but Arizona does not have to. A basketball spinning on the tip of your finger has a pivot. There's a pivot to this sun. There's a pivot in the circle. I don't know how wide the pivot is, but the pivot is wide enough to where you don't have to need to change your times in Arizona, and the sun doesn't set in Alaska. So, and another fact is that this is where sunny California is at, that bomb weather. That's the reason why. It's not so close to Alaska. It's more down in this direction where hot Mexico is at, where you got the tropical islands at. Greenland is ice. It's all ice up here. This is where a lot of ice is at. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun is not up that way. That's why Canada get all that snow. That's why all the snow be up this way. New York, Asia, Japan, China, Russia, full of snow. All the videos we got of people in Russia dressed up in all that snow gear. You know what I'm saying? Then you get down here to Mexico and Brazil because it's close to the sun. It only makes sense. Africa is all warm down here. But you start going up towards Africa, you start getting towards UK, you catch snow in certain parts because you're getting further from the sun. The home of the sun is in our is towards Mexico and Brazil. You know what I mean? It's off in that direction. So there's an ice wall, I believe. I believe there's that ice wall right there. From Canada, you keep going up, and this is Greenland. This is Greenland. When you keep going up past Canada is Greenland, which they call Antarctica. They call that Antarctica. Antarctica. That which is the ice wall. Because you're so far from the sun that it's the ice wall. So the ice wall comes there, then it's the ice wall that comes down here, and I believe all this is just unsure. I don't know what could be there if it's not an ice wall. You know what I mean? But I don't believe there's no ice wall by the sun. Maybe that's where the gates of heaven is. You know, I think that's where the gates of heaven is. God says, if you look in my face is so bright, because of your sin, you'll go blind. Bright light will make you go blind. If you stare into the sun, you will go blind. Stare into the sun, you'll go blind. God's face is not for anybody who's a sinner. Looking in God's face, you'll go blind. You didn't know that? Peep this out. God is the creator of the world. We get energy from God. Our spirit, our soul is like an energy from him. And God, you know what I mean? He blesses the land, right? Guess what the sun does? The sun feeds us nutrients. The sun feeds the seaweed deep into the ocean. Deep into the ocean. The sun is feeding seaweed deep into the ocean. Did you know that something weird is about the water? Because there's different shades and different colors of water. Water just doesn't mix like how you can pour juice and water together inside of a cup and it mix. You know, you would think that that's the way water is. But certain parts out in the ocean, the water is a different color. There's a line, and the other side of that is a different color of water. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. So, you know, they try to say it's because of the algae underneath. You know what I mean? So what is the water like a big magnifying glass now is what you're saying? So why am I not, so if the allergy could change the color of it underneath me, then why am I not able to see the big giant things floating around underneath me also? So, you know, it's a lot to make sense of. There's the North Star. No matter where you at in the world. Now I'm going to it being flat again. I was just explaining the weather, how I believe where the sun is at. Now I'm going to explain something else. Right here in the center of the whole world, China, Africa, America, right in the center, way above at the top is the North Star. No matter where you go in the world, you can always see the North Star because it's in the center. It's in the middle of us all. And around the North Star is what? Is all the constellations, the Leos, the Sagittarius, the Capricorns is the thing, right? And the Milky Way, and it never moves. It never moves. No matter where you at in the world, you can look up in the sky, and where south is and where west is and all of this will be that certain constellation. It will never change no matter where you go. So that lets you know that the ground stays still and the sky stays still. It's just the sun and the moon that is rotating. If humans was to be on a moving surface, we would not be humans that have bodies of liquid. If we was living on a curvature, we wouldn't be humans with bodies of liquid, because you cannot have liquid in your brain. You would pass out, you would faint, you'd be miscoherent, you incoherent, you wouldn't be there, you'd be out of it, you know what I mean? If not passed out, dying, dead, you know what I mean? Because of the liquid in your head that's cut off your oxygen. Or we're erect like trees, where trees actually were plants were similar to trees. We can't be on a planet without trees. Trees have to be straight up and down erect, just like a human. What we breathe out, the trees breathe in, and what the trees breathe out, we breathe in. We live off the trees live off of us. So you know what I mean? We're imitating the trees. So which that tree needs a flat ground, you know, because this the normal thing is for the tree to grow erect. Now, besides that, you know, the land mass is the ocean. The land mass is not even bigger than the ocean. The water surrounds all of our land mass. So for someone to say the world is flat or the world have a curvature, there's no country with a curvature. And for you to say the floor of the earth, you mean what? The ocean floor? The ocean floor is the real surface, the real floor of our planet. Our planet's surface is the ocean floor, which is underneath the planets. Our planets is like mountains coming out of the ocean floor. So they're like little islands coming out of the ocean floor. It was all connected. All this right here was pushed together. It was all connected. Florida was connected. All this was connected. All this was together, connected, and it broke apart after time. And, you know, and this is all still connected. All this is still like kind of one big island still, like down. All this shit is still kind of like connected. You know what I mean? It's freaky. Brazil and Africa, and Florida is not connected, but like the tropical islands and Brazil to Mexico to California, Haiti, Haitians and all of that. That's why they was able to walk from Haiti and get to Florida. Like, how was y'all able to walk come on, I thought it was water No, all that's connected. That's why they was able to walk like that and make it to the Texas borderlines where Trump was talking about building a wall at. You know what I'm saying? After the Mexicans came to Haitians. You know what I'm saying? How is they walking? I thought they were surrounded by water. I thought their island was surrounded by water. Broke off into the water. You know what I'm saying? No, that shit is connected to land, our land. You can walk to Haiti. I can walk right out this house and walk straight to Haiti. I can walk straight to Alaska. That shit's not broken off. Like how you would see on certain maps, Alaska's not connected to the USA. It's kind of off into the water. You know what I mean? They lie to us about a lot of shit. World wars. You know what I'm saying? The war, every war that ever happened. You know what I'm saying? Always happens with America heading to the east. Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Iran and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's all out here. You know what I'm saying? That's all out there. Iraq and Iran and all of that. We leaving from New York, headed over there. You know what I'm saying? We leaving from our military base from Florida, headed over there. You know what I'm saying? We in Africa trying to populate, trying to control certain things in Africa because it's right there close to us. You know what I'm saying? We fighting over Africa. We fighting over all of that shit. You know, right across from New York is UK and Asia. You know what I mean? The Asians got their own thing going on, but they kind of clinked up. They kind of like linked up with a little bit of everybody. You know what I'm saying? They kind of link with the Chinese because they are Chinese and Japanese. They're all different nationalities of each other. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually a branch off of the African world. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually a branch off of, you know what I'm saying? The Russians is a branch off. Everybody's actually coming from out of Africa and was all the same people. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's my flat earth theory. I don't believe in nothing else but this. The sun is where it's at, rotating in this area where the tropical islands are. And there's and it goes high and then it goes low. It goes high for winter, it comes down hot and low for summer. You know what I mean? There will be tropical islands out this way. If the world was spinning, there'd be tropical islands everywhere because the sun heat would be able to get to everywhere. But the sun heat is only getting to what we know of. So this prove to you we're not spinning, because Japan and China would spin so slow, but every 2,000 years, 200,000 years, sometime it would at least reach in a position of California. Like if I take this table and I spin this table, eventually it'll spin in a 360. But that 180 would at least happen. And when is Japan or China sunny Japan, sunny China? Never. When is California? California gets snow up here by Alaska because the sun, I made a real big sun that's kind of close to Alaska, but the sun is like down here. So if California can get snow, California can get snow at the top. Northern California can get snow, but Southern California got that tropical bomb ass heat. Because that's where it's closer to the sun, y'all. Come on, man, quit playing. Quit motherfucking playing with what you know and what you got facts and the understanding of reality. You don't need a jet. You know what I'm saying? Look at the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Look at the shipments from China to America. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shit that makes sense. God says in the Bible, my angels will be on four corners of the earth and will be releasing shit into the world. That'll be four corners right there. Water circles Africa. All that's connected, but on the outskirts is water. Water circles Florida, Brazil. Nothing in history has ever happened over here in the world. Nothing that's came from this way, did anything this way. We brought even Mansa Musa, even the story of Mansa Musa, when he took half of America into ships, he headed to the Western world And they say he landed in California. Then after he settled in California, he left out again. And they say he never returned. Because was he spiritually stopped? Or did he just make it to the gates of heaven? Them heavenly gates is this way. Heaven is that way. That's where heaven is. Heaven is towards the sun. The sun, we can't live without the sun. This world can't live without the sun. You can actually say the sun is this world's spirit. Like once the sun goes, this world is gonna go cold, like a body. Like the sun is the spirit in this world. The sun is the light of this world. They say that there's heat because of the lava that's under us. But under that lava is water, cold ass freezing water under that lava. So y'all don't understand that we can never have global warming because the only thing that keeps the world from over freezing and ice all down here, and ice all in California, ice all in Mexico, ice in the Brazilians and all of that shit, snow and all that. Because of the sun. It's because of the sun, y'all. The Garden of Eden was where? In Africa, UK, Asia, Africa. And people traveled out. And Neanderthals was out there. The offspring of the fallen angels, the Anunnaki. And when they mixed with them Africans, everybody became one. But you are able to have a pure heart and be saved. No matter what your nationality is, your race is, you're able to be saved to make it out of this hellhole and out of the eternal hellhole to peace, paradise. With every choice you make being a righteous choice, with you following the steps of Jesus. And Jesus tore this whole world up over here. He tore all this up. This was the only world that was going on. This is where life was at. He left Nazareth and was all over here with it. Now, when the world came this way, the story of Jesus came with it. The devil thought he had God by putting his DNA into mankind. That's why 2 blacks in Africa can have birth to an albino baby. They say blonde hair, blue eyes is the fallen angels' DNA, is the devil's blood. But what God did was flip it on the devil. And he said, oh, okay, you got their skin. But guess what? I got their hearts. So I'm going to send my son Jesus into the world. And what Jesus is going to do, he's going to make it to where it don't matter if you're this or you're that. As long as you dedicate your heart to my Father, follow my ways is how you dedicate your heart to my Father. Follow his commandments, because I was his living, walking commandments. Everything he could have told you out of his mouth, I was the word of his mouth. I lived it in front of y'all. So follow my ways and you'll be saved. This is it, y'all. We in this flat earth. Still, every other night, they shooting rockets off at the dome. The dome. Shooting rockets off in the air. If Japan was that close, they'd have been threatened. They'd have been threatened by missiles going off. There's nothing over there. They just shoot. They build something mad crazy. They think it's going to put a hole in something. They shoot it off. Boom! It's a hood video. How do I know that? It's niggas in Alaska. Hoods in Alaska. I'm watching that shit. Do like, yeah, we sell drugs. We got guns. We do this. It's ops on the block. It's niggas from all over the world be out here, yo. Hell yeah, even the military, they be shooting bombs off and shit all crazy sometimes in the middle of the night. Yeah, and then we be partying down the street, and then we be doing this, we be doing that. Wait, rewind that little part. What'd he say? He said something for a listener. He says something without even realizing what he was saying. He was just saying his experience in Alaska. And one of it was how the military is shooting out missiles every other night. You wouldn't be able to do that with another country over here somewhere. Get the fuck out of here. Didn't Russia just trip the fuck out on UK and told the whole world, nigga, anybody get involved, nigga, we blowing you niggas up too? Quit playing with me, man. Quit playing with me, man. This shit add up to what it makes sense to be. There's nothing else to explain. Shit is crazy. What else world history that I'm leaving out? Because everything came from this way and went to this way. Every time we had a war, it was us going from here and headed to the Eastern world. We tripping on niggas in Africa. We tripping on niggas in Iran, Iraq. We tripping on niggas in Russia. We tripping on China. We tripping on Japan. We tripping on everybody this way. What the fuck is this way? Nobody never thought, what the fuck is this way? What's that way? What came that way? What went that way? The only story on the face of this earth that goes that way is the story of Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa is the only story that goes out beyond California. Then you got military. You got military ships out here saying, turn around. You're going too far out in the waters. Turn around. Military ships telling you to turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. For what? Why do we gotta turn around? For what? What is y'all keeping from us? They don't even know what's beyond the abyss. They just leaving their house, their home, going to their station, getting flown out, then getting drove out and told to hold this post down for 2 months and make sure you don't see nobody on boats going past. And then you leave after a couple months, go back, and then somebody else different come from somewhere else and they take your spot for another 2 months. It's like they just playing security, keeping travelers, keeping explorers from finding out the truth. The gates of heaven is towards the sun. Prove me wrong.